Hello everybody, I am going to teach you how to make a basic 2D platformer in this very awesome, cool tutorial. I'm just gonna go ahead and get straight into it. First, I'm gonna show you how to do the basic movement. Ah! First we need a character body. This character body will act as our character. I'm gonna name him Charles. We're gonna need to give him a collision shape and a sprite 2D. You could do sprite 2D or animated sprite 2D. I'm gonna do an animated sprite 2D because if you don't know how to use it, I'm gonna show you how to use it, and that will be very cool and awesome. I'm gonna quickly throw my sprite in here, but I have to open my files up, so it's gonna cut in the video. All right, now we got who I'm going to refer to as Charles. Now you might notice a small thing with Charles whenever I brought him in. He looked a bit blurry, but I'll fix that in a minute. I'm gonna first kind of like show how to even, put the sprite into an anime sprite 2D. So basically, whenever you have your anime sprite, you go to sprite frames, new sprite frames, and then, oh, that's so cool. And then you can open the files. You have to go into folders. If you have folders down there, you have to go into a folder with whatever sprite you have. This is Charles. I'm gonna quickly put his animations in. This will be his idle animation. I'm going to name it idle. You can change the animations names by just clicking on them. You add new animations by pressing this button here, and you can also delete them by pressing the trash can. And then you can also duplicate animations by pressing that. Also, you can make it so it auto plays whenever you press this button, which I'm going to do since this is his idle animation, and you can make it loop by this with this one. And then you change how fast it goes with this. So, for example, this is 5 frames per second. I can make it 15 frames per second. Okay, and now he's moving a lot faster. Over here, this just basically inserts empty frames. This one's for before, this one's for the after one. This allows you to move like frames around. It's a little weird. It's not a little weird. I said that wrong. And then you can delete frames with this. And then if you do that on accident, you just Control Z, because Control Z works in like everything. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly also say basically how to use this. Obviously, you just click on the frames. You can drag like this. You can change let's say this is all messed up and stuff. You can change like how many of the squares are up here. I kind of did that subconsciously, and you can also change like the size. And you really just need to focus on these two. These are the only two things that are very important, really. Okay, now like I said earlier, you may have noticed that he appears a bit blurry. Now, there's a very easy way to fix this, and it's by going to your project settings. And then, I need to find it real quick. Okay, now you come over down here to rendering. You'll click on textures, and this. You just gotta go to nearest. And now, it's nice. He's nice and crisp. I'm at a camera to him so you can actually see him. He looks a bit small. If you go into the camera, like if you need to zoom in, basically bigger numbers will make it zoom in more. I'm just gonna make it like 1.25. That'll probably be good. Yeah. And now he's playing his idle animation because I set it to the autoplay thing. Isn't he so beautiful? Anyways, I'm gonna give him a collision shape, or else because he will fall for like eternity, and that would be very bad. I would recommend whenever you do collision shapes for them to be capsules, because the capsules you're able to like kind of like if you're doing a platformer and you hit that ledge a bit like right around here, you can still kind of like move up onto it, and it makes it feel a bit more fair for the player. Just make sure it's lined up and stuff. Okay. Now we're just going to add code to him. Now the coding stuff is quite easy because we're not going to really touch too much on code for this tutorial since we're just making the basic platformer. Godot comes with a template for basic movement. Now, this stuff, I don't like these. I'm going to delete them real quick. I'll explain them though. Basically, What this is doing is check if you're on the floor. If you're not, it applies the gravity. Whenever this checks if you press your space bar and if you are on the floor, so you can jump. And then this one makes sure that if you're pressing the arrow keys, which we will swap to WASD in a minute, it will apply the speed. And then this move and slide basically just makes you actually move and slide, as you could probably tell. Now, because, okay, basically we're going to actually add a area we can walk on. So I'm going to add a static body and a collision shape. Now I'm going to do a new world boundary because it's just going to be temporary for right now. But basically what this does is even though the collision looks a bit small, this goes on quite literally forever. So if you need like a collision shape that goes on for maybe like a boundary box at like the end of a map area, I would advise using this. I'm going to place this in so you can actually see our character move around. Now, we can move. I do have to press the arrow keys, and I can only jump by and I can press jump. Goodness, I can jump by pressing space. I'm sorry, I don't have a script or anything. Okay, now another thing I'm just going to quickly say, this is a bit of a smaller thing. As you see, you're jumping behind like it. This is a simple fix. If you don't want it to do that, you can just go to ordering. Setting it farther back, obviously, will send it farther back. So now I'd appear in front. Now, I don't know like how you guys would want this to be, but if you have like maybe decoration or something, you put it ahead of the character and simply it will just, it's just a little something I might as well touch on. Anyways, for actually making it so the controls are WASD, we go over here in project settings. So project settings, blah, 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 input map. Then you add new actions. I'm just going to press A, or actually I'll just do left, right, up. For left, I'm going to do A. You just press A. Right, D. Then up. You can actually put multiple inputs, so I can do my space bar and my W key if I want to. Now, if I just, oh gosh, did my game crash? Oh no, it didn't. I thought it did. Now if we go over into here, if I type up, you'll see it appears here. And left and right. Now if you're using this, like the basic template, I would really recommend, well not really, you have to put them in this order for it to actually like work like that. Now I could press W and A and D to move around, so that's pretty cool. And space, because I put those as my things. Now, we're going to learn how to do the actual animations. Because if you remember, I added animations for this guy. I did a jump and a walk. Now this is pretty simple. Basically, you just drag and drop this, period, play. Now you can choose between all of your animations you want to play. Now since this is in the walking area, I'm going to do walk. And then this is just checking if basically this is checking if I'm not pressing it, the things. So then I do dot play idle, because this is indicating that I'm not walking anymore. So now, I'm spinning when isn't that so cool? Now, as you might have been able to tell, I'm kind of not facing the direction I'm moving. This is a simple fix. Okay, basically, this might not be the best way of doing it, but I can do something like if input dot is pressed right, or no, not right. Oh, I'll just do right first. Dot flip H equals false, and then I'll copy and paste this. Oops. Left, and then we'll do true. This should make it so whenever I press my A button, yes, I'm now spinning in the correct direction. Isn't that so cool? Okay, so basically when it comes to actually playing the jump animation, I'm just gonna go over here and then dot play jump. This will just simply make it so whenever I'm in the air, it's gonna actually play the jump animation. Well, it should at least. I don't know why it's not. Okay, I had a bit of a bug in my script. Basically, this is just always checking if I'm not pressing it, and by simply just removing that, it will fix it, but it does do a bug, and we'll fix that in just a second. I'm sorry. I have errors in my code sometimes. And yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to do a tutorial thing, and yeah, I'll show you how you fix this now. Okay, now I fixed it by simply just doing if is on floor, which is just checking if I'm on the floor to play the animations. I did it to both because this I've had sometimes errors where the animations just sometimes mess up, and doing this I think kind of just makes the game like realize for sure almost that well, makes it realize when to actually play the animations and when not to. So now you have all the simple animations down. And that's pretty cool. Anyways, now on to the next things. First off, I will also just quickly add that if you like don't like these values, you can always change them. I just doubled both of them. Now you'll see I'm moving a lot faster and I'm jumping a lot higher. So whatever tickles your fancy, I guess. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and go on to the next part. The actual, like tile maps. Tile maps is how you add the scenery and the actual platforms to jump onto. I don't have a tile map laying around real quick, so I'm gonna just draw one. Okay, I just drew a simple tile map. It's nothing really much. This is the ground, this is the sky, and these are just an extra kind of look of platforms. So, since I'm using Sprite, I mean, you probably know how to use Sprite, just export it. And now we go back to Godot real quick. You make the new tile set. Now clicking on it. This is tile map, which is already actually painted, but you go over to tile set. Just drag this in. Just click yes, and now, oops. You should be able to just start like painting, basically. Quickly though, I am gonna say this. Also, right click to drag and middle mouse button like the other things. I'm gonna give collision to these. I'm just gonna shift click all these. Oh wait, I forgot to do one thing. Physics layers, and then just click this. One should be good depending on whatever you're using. Like over here, collision, it collides with the layer one. So, you want to have this as whatever your character and or enemies, whatever, like depending on whatever you're adding to this, collide with. So I'm gonna, oops, wrong one. Shift click them all. Physics layer 0, because that's this one with these. You can either actually manually add like the collision things if you want to, and now they all have this. There's a much easier way to do it. Oh shoot. Let me delete these. There we go. Just do this, reset the default tile shape, and it'll just make it a square. Now these will have collision. I can remove this actually now, because this will have collision. So if I just quickly, oops, yes, I just do this, and I should collide with it when I touch it. Yes. That's pretty easy and simple. The default tile, like for like tile size for Godot is 16 by 16. You could change this if you drew something in maybe like 32 by 32, but I'm just gonna use 16 by 16. I'm gonna just quickly paint in an area. I'll quickly just say how some of the stuff works. This works as placing random tiles, so these are all random, as you could see. Right click will allow you to delete like a chunk of tiles like that. This is a paint bucket, if you cannot tell. This is a bucket. Pow. and it will change everything. And yeah, I'm now gonna quickly just paint out a basic area, and I'll see you in a second, I guess. Okay, now let's say you want to add a bit of background decoration. In here, just go over to layers. This is the current layer we're working on. If you add a new one, since it will be in the background, just do -1 once. I would do at least for that. And now, whenever I come over here, if I click 1, I can like add background decoration to the class so they have a bit more like shape and texture. I did add a bottom one so I can add to the bottom. But you could do things like pebbles, like shrubs and things like that. And then I'm going to add one extra one. I'm just going to do -10 because nothing probably is going to be beyond that. And this is for the sky. You can also name these if you want to. So I could do sky props, and I'll just do ground. So if I go over to sky, I can just, boom. It's not a pretty sky, but I also drew the entire thing in like a few seconds, so, you know. Anyways, oh, shoot, I'm stuck. Anyways, now, let's say you are playing, and you fall. Oh no, that's not good. You could just add a simple kill box. I'm just going to do a simple one with an area 2D. You would add a collision to the area 2D. Then you'll make it check whatever collision you have your player on. I'm going to make my collision 2 for my player. This is what you're like, basically this is what you'll collide with, and then this is what the collision of your actual player is. So I would make this 2, and if I make these 2, it will check if he enters it, basically. So I'm going to just name it kill box. I'm just going to do this. Add it down here. I'll just do this. And now over here, if you do body entered, you just connect it to this. You can connect it to your player if you want to, but I'm going to just connect it to the main one, like the main node. We don't need these. And there's other things you do. I'm just going to do get underscore tree dot reload current scene. Now, whenever I fall down, it will reload the scene. So it kind of works. It's cool. Now that's kind of all I'm going to go over in this tutorial. If you guys want another one, I could do things just like simple enemies, like scores, and like better movement and stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you thought this was helpful. Thank you. Goodbye.